persist.
Mr. Solicitor, Mr. Sibal is appearing for the state of West.
Your Lordship, here with Mr. Sibal. In this matter, Your Lordship, I'm also assisting Your
I'm
Lordship.
appearing for the Delhi Medical Association, but we have filed an application.
State of West Bengal is represented by Mr. Sibal.
Yes, Mona.
Lord, I appear for
Is-
the Indian.
The Bengal Doctors, the Association of Bengal.
Lord, I am appearing for the original writ petitioner on
Your Lordship, I'm,
order the CBI was done.
my Lord, I'm appearing on behalf of the petitioner.
Number of interveners.
Yes,
Please,
Not that
Lord,
have
appearing
anybody
on
calling
behalf of
out
the petitioners.
calling out who they are appearing for. We'd only request the interveners to give a slip of paper to the court master indicating who you are appearing for. We'll take that.
We'll give it, my lord.
Otherwise, we'll spend the next 10 minutes and only,
I am appearing for the Indian Medical Association. We'll give our slip, my lord.
We'll give
And my lord, I am for the writ petitioner at whose behest the investigation was transferred to CBI.
Right. The reason why, I must make it clear, the reason why we decided to take suo motu cognizance, we are conscious of the fact that the High Court was entertaining a petition which was filed by the petitioners who are here before us, is because this is really now not just a matter relating to a particular murder which takes place in a hospital in Calcutta, which is horrific in the nature of the crime, but it raises systemic issues in regard to the safety of doctors.
Lord, two more incidents, one in Bombay and one in Ahmedabad after Calcutta.
Let the Chief Justice please.
Because this deals with the systemic issue of safety of doctors across India.
Yes.
There are a couple of things, Mr. Sibal, before we deal with the broader aspects of safety and what we propose to do, we'll tell you in
I have something to assist on that, neutrally.
briefly on both aspects. First, on matters of safety, we are deeply concerned about the fact that there is a virtual absence of safe conditions of work for young doctors across the country, particularly in public hospitals. As we know, these are all young interns, they are residents, senior residents, doctors, and most importantly, women doctors.
Yes.
Who are subject to of graver dangers and vulnerability.
They are vulnerable.
By virtue of the nature of their
Absolutely.
because of gender.
Working hours.
Just and working hours. Most of the young doctors have to put in somewhere
36 hours, Malala,
hours.
stretch.
We find that there are no duty rooms available, no separate restrooms or duty rooms available for men and women doctors, for the other nursing staff, for the paramedical staff who are also on duty. And therefore, we must evolve a national consensus to ensure that there must be a standard national protocol to ensure that safe conditions of work are provided. This is not a matter of providing protection either to women or protection to doctors in general. It's a matter of creating safe conditions of work so that they, ultimately, what is equality under the Constitution all about? If women cannot go to a place of work and be safe, then we are denying them the basic conditions of equality. And therefore, we are entertaining this, and I'll very shortly share the way we want to proceed with this to ensure that ultimately, it's not that every time that there is a rape or murder that the conscience of the nation is awakened. We have to do something right here and now to ensure that these conditions of safety are maintained in terms of protocols which will not just be on paper, but protocols which will be enforced across India. Now, insofar as what happened in Kolkata is concerned, Mr. Sibal, couple of things from what we have. Of course, first, let me begin by saying that we are deeply concerned of the fact that the name of the deceased who was assaulted and murdered, the name has been published all over the media. Photographs have been published all over the media.
Correct.
Video clips, obviously, either before or after the postmortem, have been published.
Right.
Showing her body, after she was subjected to it. It's extremely concerning. We are the first to recognize the right to free speech, but there are well-settled parameters.
It is extremely painful. I agree entirely with you.
Which have been laid down in now the new criminal procedure code by judgments of our court in Nipun Saxena, that you will not publish the names of the survivors of sexual assault. In this case, The
It's a
person
criminal offense.
We have filed 50 FIRs on that count.
High Court has
50
done
FIRs.
it, my lord, and it was circulated, nobody should publish.
Well, may I just
Identity.
inform your lordships, before the police reached, photos were taken and these were circulated. We didn't allow anything to happen. We cordoned off the area.
Is this the way we provide dignity and
That's
respect
terrible.
the privacy
Terrible.
of an individual who has lost her life as a
Yeah.
young doctor?
Yes.
But apart from that, Ms. Isabel, I'm happy that you are here for the state of West Bengal. Couple of important, quite a few aspects of the
Sure.
way the matter proceeded. It appears that the crime was detected in the early hours of the morning.
Yes.
Yes.
No, in the evening.
After the crime was detected in the early hours of the morning, the principal of the hospital tries to pass this off as a suicide.
Not true, not true, not
Her
true.
parents are not allowed to see the body. The parents are not allowed
Yeah.
to see the body
For
for
4 hours.
almost.
No, Malak, this is, I'm sorry. Anyway, Malak, this is
Lord,
the
that
impression.
our
We'll have to-
investigation
we'll have
also
to-
corrupt.
We'll have to place the facts before your lordships. We have investigated that.
By the High Court.
This is not correct.
So
Let us read the order.
until late night, we find that no FIR was registered.
That's also not correct. Not correct.
What time was the FIR registered?
Malak, in fact, we did what is called, what we call a UD case, Malak.
UD case.
Unnatural death case registered.
Yes, unnatural death case.
Registered.
But
Immediately.
that's right.
That's an FIR, Malak. That's an FIR.
Not the body is discovered.
The UD case comes from
The FIR registered formally in the police.
Malak's inquest was done and then FIR registered immediately and the investigation started.
What time
It should have been done.
the FIR registered?
12, Malak. 12:30.
Does the FIR say that this is a case of a murder?
No.
Yes, yes.
No, no, it.
No, my lord, we have
Unnatural
something
death.
exclusive.
It was.
We have something.
Unnatural death.
One second.
Inquest shows it's a case of murder,
One
Malak.
second.
Inquest shows it's a case of murder.
Inquest is done. The postmortem the autopsy is conducted.
Yes.
Now, until the night, no FIR indicating that this is a clear case of a murder has been made out.
It has, Malak. I'm sorry. I'll place those facts before your lordship. It has been, Malak.
Lord, may I suggest?
From
my lord, may I
unnatural
suggest-
death, he registered the case
Lord,
for murder.
Death.
We caught the victim. He is a civic worker, Malak. It's an individual act. I show all that to your lordship.
And that's the first aspect.
Yes.
What was the principal doing? Why did he not, why was this kind of inaction on the part first an attempt to pass this off as a suicide instead of a murder?
I'm sorry, Malak. That's not correct.
Not registering an FIR till late in the evening. Third, the body itself is handed over to the parents sometime in the evening for cremation. Fourth, and that's a matter of very serious concern. On the next day, the doctors, because they were all doctors working with her, the doctors are on protest. A group of persons, a mob assembles at the hospital. The hospital is invaded and the critical facilities are damaged in the morning or whenever the mob enters. What was the police doing?
Yes.
Malak, we have videos for all. Malak, let me first of all,
Only, Mr. Sivan,
What?
the police,
Lord,
Malak,
a very serious offense has taken place. The crime scene is within the precincts of the hospital. Now, that is the first thing that the police have to do, namely to protect the crime scene. What are they doing?
Malak,
Nothing.
They allow vandals to enter the hospital. And,
It's impossible that 7,000 people
First
can
of all,
gather without
of all,
the consent.
please, one second.
allow me.
Lord,
This is-
7,000 people can never gather without knowledge or consent of the.
This is not an adversarial
It's
litigation.
not, therefore, let's not be in denial mode. One girl has lost life
One second.
by not only, my lord, a sexual pervert, he's an animal.
After the principal resigns from this medical college,
He sent to another hospital.
he's appointed as a principal of another college.
He doesn't resign. But anyway, be that as, Malak, let me first,
Conduct, at the least, his conduct is under scrutiny, and he's appointed as a principal somewhere else.
Lord,
this is all, we have a note on all this
Lord,
misinformation.
let's not contradict each other. There is a high court
What
order.
is the reality? Just show it to you.
Let them file a report, not.
Well, just show it to
Matter
you.
tomorrow.
My lord.
Couple of things which we would like
Would be
to do.
there.
Well, let's make it very clear.
Yeah.
We would want the investigation has been handed over to the
CBI.
Bureau of Investigation.
Yes, done, yes,
We want CBI to file a status report before this court on Thursday.
correct.
We will take up the case on Thursday. We want CBI to apprise us on the status of the investigation.
Correct.
The investigation obviously must be at a very sensitive stage so that it's something which will be submitted to the court.
For court's consumption, not
Noted
allowed making it public.
It's really an investigation update
Yes,
status
yes.
report which will be given to us on Thursday. We will consider the status report on Thursday morning and see where the investigation is proceeding. Today, what we intend to do is that today we intend to pass an order. What we have done is, and three of us, that's why we were in conversation with each other. We have discussed the pros and cons. We are setting up, under the authority of this court, a national task force. The national task force will consist of a diverse segment of doctors from different parts of the country. We want them to make us recommendations in regard to the modalities to be followed across India. We're not only talking of the Adhikar Medical College and Hospital, but modalities to be followed all over the country for ensuring safety at the workplace first and foremost, for which our young doctors, the middle-level doctors, the senior doctors are all today on protest and on strike. At the same time, we would, now that we are taking charge of these proceedings, we are appointing a national task force. It's our earnest request to doctors all over the country who have struck work. There are institutions where I know appointments are taken 2 years in advance. For instance, the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, appointments are taken 2 years in advance. If patients lose their slot, they go back by another 2 years. So we would really earnestly appeal to all the doctors that we are here to ensure that their safety and protection is a matter of the highest national concern. And therefore, this is something which we would earnestly appeal to all the young doctors that this is something, please trust us. That's why we have not left it to just the High Court. The High Court, of course, consists of very seasoned judges. The Chief Justice was monitoring the investigation by the CBI, but we felt that this is now not a matter of a particular offense, however serious and horrendous the offense is, but something which affects the institution of healthcare pan-India. Therefore, the need for the Supreme
Mulaz,
Court.
we welcome this. I think this must be done, Mulaz. All of us must be very positive. But Mulaz, I have only one request. Mulaz, I have only one request. Yeah, sorry.
Lord, I need, my lord, 5 minutes on this, my lord.
That's what I said. Yes,
Who is the first informant? We were talking about the first information.
yes.
Who is that first informant? Can you name us, please?
Name him.
Who is the first informant
we
who
just-
lodged the FIR?
The one, I'll just find out, Mulaz.
And we would also like to know the time of the registration of the
The
FIR.
father of the victim.
Wait a minute, please don't
Please don't-
interfere.
Yeah.
Don't interfere.
The
please.
first UD case was done by the police on its own.
So that is not an FIR. What is section 174 of the old CRPC today? Can anyone assist us, please?
Yes, what's
So that's just a report.
Yes, to start the investigation.
But then who lodged the FIR?
183.
First, the father of the deceased.
Yes.
Then
And
the
then the
vice
vice
principal of the
principal.
hospital. First, the father of the deceased and vice principal of the hospital.
No, there cannot be two FIRs.
No, but both complaints were sent to us.
No.
Both complaints sent to us.
Tell us whose complaint is treated as,
Father of the deceased.
this is registered at what time?
11:45 p.m.
11:45?
PM.
And now,
Next day, next day.
Yes.
The night. The night, Mulaz.
The night.
In the night. In the night. Mulaz. In the
now,
night.
when is the body, one second, when is the body handed over to the parents for cremation?
Mulaz, kindly have this
Just
note
tell
that I've
us,
given.
what time is the body handed over to the parents for cremation? One second.
Around 3:30.
30:10.
No.
Therefore, one thing is very clear. The body is handed over to the parents for cremation at 8:30 p.m. The FIR is registered at 11:45 p.m. 3 hours and 15 minutes after the body is handed over to the parents for cremation.
They refused to file. This is the problem. We handed it over. They filed the FIR. They made the complaint at 11:45. They say, we are in shock. Please do whatever you want to do. They wanted a post-mortem. We did the post-mortem. All is videographed. Everything is videographed.
The autopsy and the post-mortem take place.
Between 1:45 to 4 p.m.
Now, between 1:45 and 4 p.m., the autopsy takes place, followed by the
My lord, the
postmortem.
autopsy took place at 6 o'clock, not at,
Fair enough. That's all right. We'll take it as between 1 and 4 o'clock. It doesn't take place in 1 minute. It takes
that was
time.
when,
Videograph.
1 second. Don't keep on interrupting.
They wanted
So
a board, we
are
constituted a
proceeding-
board.
We are proceeding on the basis of Mr. Sibal's hypothesis that the autopsy and the postmortem take place between 1 and 4:45 in the afternoon. Now,
Lordship, there is-
notwithstanding this, clearly,
Lordship,
the autopsy would reveal that this is a case where a doctor has been murdered, where she has been murdered.
Yeah.
The FIR is registered at 11:45 in the night, Mr. Sibal.
Yeah,
And who was expected to,
yeah.
Nobody, the hospital registers the FIR, the father registers the, what was the principal or the vice principal? What were the authorities of the hospital doing?
No, they wanted a board, we constituted a board. They wanted a magistrate, we got the
You
magistrate.
don't need
They realized
time
that
for
murder has
registration
been
of
committed.
FIR. You don't need a medical board for
They are-
registration of FIR.
At the moment, Miller's, what are we considering? We are considering, Miller's, 2 or 3 things, as your lordship has put to me.
Not done.
How did these photographs reach the social media?
No, that's
I'll mention all this, how did these photographs reach the media? We have nothing to do with it.
No, let
because
us
we
not
ordered out
trivialize, my lord.
everything. People there took photographs, came in, took photographs and sent it. Number 2, Miller's, number 2, immediately, Miller's, immediately an unnatural death case, Miller's, was started and an investigation was started. Your lordships may be right, Miller's, why did it happen? But whatever the parents were doing, we were agreeing with that. We set up a board. We asked the magistrate to come, a judicial magistrate to be present. Everything was videographed. Everything was called.
Mr. Sibal, it is the
Application was
obligation
made
of the
before the Seattle
authorities of the hospital. The parents are not present in the hospital when the murder takes place.
Yes.
It's the obligation of the authorities of the hospital to register an FIR the moment they
45 it was done. 45 done. The letter was sent.
11:45 in the
No,
night.
245 letter was sent. Since the superintendent sent a letter at 2:45 minutes. It's not 11:30, at 2:45 itself, we'll set out all this, Malaj. It's better we set it.
What we, Mr.
Lordships may give me 5 minutes, my lord,
Yes.
to further, my lord, to assist your lordships. My lord, first of all, Lord, let us not trivialize on this side, my lord, we are dealing with one incident, but your lordships are rightly looking at a larger picture. But we are dealing with, my lord, a young doctor, not only raped by a sexual pervert or perverts, but who was an animal-like instinct, who had an animal-like instinct, the way, my lord, the body was handled. Thereafter, my lord, I don't wish, my lord, to make this a political issue. I would request the state also not to be in a denial mode. 3 hours of the patient, parents waiting, my lord, is something we can experience if we put ourselves in that position. Now, my lord, so far as the safety is concerned, my lord, one thing I must bring to your lordship's notice. My lord, the doctors are genuinely, my lord, have a grievance. They are, my lord, they've lost one of their colleagues, my lord, globally. But, my lord, out of, my lord, all states, 23 states have legislations dealing with, my lord, what is called for, my lord, Kerala, my lord, so-and-so Medicare service persons and medical service institutions, Prevention of Violence and Damage or Loss to the Property Act. There are, my lord, I'll give, my lord, the list of acts. My lord, this also the National Task Force, my lord, can
The punishment which is provided under.
it's a cognizable, my lord, and
3 years.
3 years.
yes, my lord. It's cognizable, non-bailable, and punishment is 3 years. My lord, this is first. I'll, my lord, place it. The National Task Force, my lord, which our lordships contemplate, can, my lord, go into this, can even make suggestions, and it should be welcome, my lord. My lord, second thing, my lord, which is worrying us is this. My lord, even in a well-organized function, if we want the presence of 500 people in an auditorium, we all know we have to make efforts. 7,000 people at the middle of the night armed with lathis and hockeys, my lord, can never be without the knowledge, if not consent, of the police force. It's complete failure of law and order in the entire state.
What time did the vandalization of the hospital take place?
Lord, midnight. It's at midnight, my lord.
I thought my
7,000
learned
people-
friend, he doesn't want to politicize the matter, Malaj. Why is he saying all this?
Now,
Let's-
why this is, my lord, important.
We should be called upon. We'll tell you what happened.
Mr. Solicitor, what we'll do is that we'll.
One more aspect. Lord, and my lord, again, my learned friend may feel that this is, my lord, but this is directly related to the issue in question. Lord, the West Bengal has an in-charge DIG.
In
Lord,
charge?
in-charge DIG, Director General of Police, who is already being charged and being my lord, considered by your lordships for having fabricated or otherwise dealt with the evidence in Sharda scam case. My lord, your lordship's
Calcutta
direction
police
in
doesn't come under
Mr.
DGP.
Mr.
Calcutta police doesn't come under DGP. Why are you saying all this?
What this has to do
Lord,
then?
This is
Director
Kolkata
General
Police.
of Police
This has nothing
is
to
an
do with
in-charge
What is all
DGP.
this?
Charge.
Lord, let someone else be the
But this is
in-charge.
what is happening.
Let them choose, but not the man who is already
This is
accused
the
of
kind of
having.
misinformation we are having. Malad.
This is
And
This is nothing to do, this is a
nothing to do.
only a minute.